Max Verstappen experienced a dramatic and challenging race weekend in Bahrain. While finishing sixth might seem respectable, especially given the chaos of the race, it's far from what we've come to expect from the four-time world champion. Verstappen was notably frustrated with the car's performance, not just with the tire wear, but more so with the braking system and the car's lack of stability through the corners. Interestingly, Yuki Tsunoda ended up being closer to Max than any Red Bull teammate has been in recent years. This raises a pressing question. Is Red Bull genuinely slipping toward the midfield pack? If so, what does that mean for Max's future with the team? Following the race, Red Bull's situation looked troubling. Both drivers started further down the grid, P7 and P10, and only gained a single position each by the end. That's a sharp contrast to just a week prior, when Max held off both McLarens for a win in Suzuka. In Bahrain, however, he found himself fighting off Haas and Alpine, rather than competing for the podium. Verstappen's race was marred by multiple issues. He was one of the first to pit, switching from soft to hard compounds, a somewhat unexpected strategy. To make matters worse, a pit stop glitch caused a delay as the green light didn't activate in time, costing him precious tenths. Once back on track, things didn't improve. He lost positions to both Lewis Hamilton and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and nearly got overtaken by Jack Doohan. The Dutchman was vocal on the radio, telling his race engineer, "I can't even brake anymore, this is ridiculous." He wasn't just complaining about the brakes either. Verstappen cited balance problems, understeer, and instability at the rear throughout the race. Reflecting on his experience post-race, he summed it up bluntly. "The start wasn't good. The early pace was poor, the tires were overheating, the car balance was off. We had an issue with the lights at the first pit stop. I got stuck in traffic, and the hard tires didn't help. Less grip, more degradation. Then the second stop was even worse. I dropped to the back. Given all that, finishing P6 is actually not bad. But honestly, there wasn't much more we could have done." The most frustrating part? Red Bull had tried to address the braking issues before the race, as the same problems affected qualifying. That either means their fixes made no difference or made things worse. Max's frustration is understandable. If the factory can't correct a known issue even with time to prepare, confidence naturally starts to fade. After the race, when Viaplay asked if he thought there'd be a lot of discussion about what went wrong, Verstappen replied sarcastically, "For you." A clear jab at the media frenzy that was sure to follow. When asked about the planned internal meeting, he seemed uninterested. "Yeah, not now. I'm not in the mood." That meeting, however, is reportedly very real and quite serious. The attendees? Team Principal Christian Horner, Helmut Marko, Technical Director Pierre Wache, and Chief Engineer Paul Monaghan, all key figures at Red Bull. The gravity of that lineup suggests the team is genuinely unsure how to fix their current issues. Wait, hold on. Did you know that 99% of you watching right now aren't subscribed? If you enjoy my content and want to see more, please hit that subscribe button. It takes just a second, but it means the world to me and helps keep this channel going. Join the family and let's grow together. Now back to the story. If Red Bull doesn't turn things around soon, particularly with the upcoming technical directive in Barcelona, the team could see a continued slide into the midfield. And while some may mock Verstappen, saying he should be able to win in anything, it's clear he's carried that car on his back in many races. He's earned the right to be upset. That said, the most intriguing development might not even be from Red Bull itself. While we wait to hear official statements from Red Bull's leadership on their recent struggles, big news has emerged from Aston Martin. Dan Fallows has officially been let go from his role. This could prove significant. Fallows, once a key figure at Red Bull alongside Adrian Newey and Rob Marshall, was instrumental in shaping the aerodynamic philosophy of the car. After joining Aston Martin, he played a vital role in their impressive rise, but also presided over the team's more recent stagnation. Now that he's available, his next move could add another twist to the unfolding story behind closed doors. Red Bull's situation is becoming more concerning by the race. While Verstappen managed a sixth-place finish, it was largely due to the well-timed safety car rather than outright pace. That alone is a red flag. And when rumors begin circulating about Max possibly ending his time with Red Bull earlier than expected, it only adds to the urgency of the crisis. To put things into perspective, Bahrain marked the first time since the Las Vegas GP last year that both Red Bull drivers finished in the points. However, they ended up closer to the back of the top 10 than the front, a far cry from the dominant performances we've grown used to. It's led many to question whether the team's internal political struggle, especially involving Christian Horner, and Red Bull's ownership structure has compromised their focus and performance. Max himself seems to have come to terms with a disappointing outlook. When asked about his title hopes, he was blunt. "McLaren isn't my rival right now. I'm just participating in this championship. No, I don't see myself as a contender for the 2025 title." He continued, saying he had already warned the team during winter testing that the car was half a second off, and Bahrain proved he was right. He also added that while odd weekends, like Suzuka with its tricky qualifying, can occasionally mask the car's flaws, the reality is clear: Red Bull is no longer the benchmark. And for a driver of Verstappen's caliber, watching the team slip without a clear fix in sight is likely infuriating. This perspective helps us understand why Sergio Perez has also been struggling. It's clear that the team's current package simply isn't competitive. In the past, Red Bull could rely on Verstappen's exceptional skill to carry them to improbable wins. But those days might be numbered. Without a car capable of fighting at the front, even Max's talent has its limits. The thought of Red Bull sliding into midfield irrelevance without their star driver is not far-fetched. And as Sky F1's Martin Brundle hinted, a future move for Verstappen, potentially to Mercedes, isn't out of the question. With the current grid in flux and Red Bull's dominance fading, Max's next move might come sooner than anyone expected. Martin Brundle recently made a striking comment. "If Max Verstappen suddenly became available on the market, I'd be worried if I were George Russell." And he has a point. Mercedes sees Kimi Antonelli as their long-term project, but if Max is up for grabs, it changes everything. Brundle added that while George is doing a fantastic job leading the team right now, Toto missed out on Max once. I don't think he'll let that happen again if he gets another shot. There's growing speculation that Verstappen could indeed part ways with Red Bull sooner than expected. Just take a look around the paddock. Aston Martin, for example, has quietly assembled a team of ex-Red Bull talent over the years. From Adrian Newey's influence to the Honda engine partnership, the Silverstone-based outfit has become a magnet for key personnel who once helped Red Bull reach the top. Now, Dan Fallows, who was instrumental in both Red Bull's early dominance and Aston Martin's brief resurgence, is out of the picture. While he might make a return to Red Bull, his recent struggles show he may not be the missing piece they need. Still, one thing's clear: if Verstappen becomes available, Mercedes will make a move. Despite Toto Wolff expressing satisfaction with his current driver lineup, it's hard to imagine he'd pass up the chance to bring Max into the fold. Not twice. So, with all this going on, what do you think lies ahead for Max Verstappen after a brutal showing in Bahrain? Is this the beginning of the end for his time at Red Bull? And more importantly, can even a driver of Max's caliber endure this kind of pressure, frustration, and decline in performance? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, click the video on your screen right now for more insight into Red Bull's evolving drama. And don't forget to subscribe my channel.